Hi everyone, it's Vice Cherry here. Today I'm going to talk about Heidel, one of the biggest events for Black Desert Online. First, I'm kinda going to make a summary of what's new, and then I'm going to add some of my, thoughts, expressions, so on. So let's begin. First, they announced a new class. The class will be called Agent. It's going to have Awakening and Succession, and it's going to use main weapon Revolver, and Awakening weapon is going to be called Hex Round. It's going to be an assassin type of class, and they also announced that from now on every year they are going to release a new class, and how it's going to look like is that it's going to be Succession release in summer and Awakening release in winter. So seems like all the upcoming classes are going to not be Ascension classes anymore, but they are going to have Succession and Awakening sides. Also, that's one of the biggest news for me is that they are going to finally release instant character tagout. So basically, there are going to be almost no loading screens. It's going to be more like a cutscene. You could say it's still a loading screen, but at least it's definitely going to improve the current situation. And also related to it, there is going to be a family dispatch function where you can basically send out your characters to do some assignments. Right now, they said they are testing gathering, processing, and fishing. So maybe these are the first ones that are going to release. So what you can do is just send your character to do these things. So it's not exactly the loot compared to active gameplay or whatever, but it's going to just add something to it. They were not so clear about it. And next they are going to release Edania Part 2. It is going to come with many different bosses. You can see them on the screen. Something though maybe mention is that the bosses are going to have a new mechanic where you have to use Black Spirit's Rage skill to get a upper hand against bosses. Again, it's not yet clear how exactly is it going to work, but for sure, if you want to have an advantage in a fight, then you have to use your Black Spirit's Rage skill. Another new addition that's going to come with Edania Part 2 are going to be two different accessories. They will both have exactly the same stats in the end, but the progression path is different. So one is Eclecta accessories that's going to basically grow out of Charizard accessories, and failing doesn't destroy your accessories. And another one is Apeiron accessories that you are going to get as a drop while grinding in Edania Part 2. And what's different about these accessories is that these accessories doesn't progress out of anything. You have to basically start from base level, and you can list those accessories on central market. Plus it consumes the accessory when you're enhancing your accessories as an upgrade material. And there are some things related to life skills. So for example, there will be new life skill artifacts, and there will be new life skills consumables. It's all that you can also get in Edania Part 2. Also, there will be 3 different new dyes for your armor set and weapons: yellow, turquoise, and white. So the yellow one will not have weapon dice because the weapons look yellow anyway. And there will be a new outfit named Godslayer's Armor that you can also obtain just by playing the game in Edania Part 2. You can obtain it through defeating Edania 2 bosses. And there are some changes to the Throne of Edana. It applies both to Part 1 and Part 2. So in the future, people need to have only Dawn crystals for all AP equipped to enter, not other Dawn crystals. That's going to be the main difference. And outside of Edania, there is going to be a new grind spot. It's going to be a solo grind spot in Sulfur's mine above Valencia. It's going to be just new golems, sulfur golems. And what's special is that they are going to drop Olun's ring piece that's going to be used to create a treasure item called Rich Merchant's Ring. And also they are going to add Marnie's combat analyzer into the game that will basically calculate your DPS, but with many other statistics, just that's kind of the main purpose. And they are going to also add another system into the game that's going to be all in one PvP rankings. The data will update every midnight, and it's going to be a good indicator of who is overall ranked in what place, plus, I guess, overall situation of the classes and so on. And something big for the ocean content. So, first of all, there are going to be new ocean monsters. So, basically, you have to fight kind of big group of monsters all at once. It's going to be a tough content, but it's going to give their bones, scales, and fluid that can be used for new ship gear. So it's going to be yellow tier ship gear for both Karax and Panoxen. So there is going to be a new island east from the Land of the Morning Light where you can craft new Panoxen gear, and Karak gear you can still craft on the Ilia island. There are also going to be new changes to bartering. You don't have to disembark your ship anymore to barter. You can just be on the board to switch out your bartering items and so on. Also, auto navigation is going to be greatly improved. And something very interesting, they teased a new mount, Therica. They said it's right now in development, but they just showed it as a teaser so that the players will get excited for the future because we are finally going to have a useful new mount based on what was shown. So that's good news. And something more related to life skills is that they are going to unify all the life skill gear so that it can be worn and used even when you are having combat gear equipped, to my understanding. And light stones will be also adjusted with it. And some good quality of life that also comes with the change is that alchemy stones are going to get a change, but not only life skill alchemy stones, but also combat alchemy stones. So all the active buffs are going to become passive buffs. So no more recharging your alchemy stone, no more running out of charges and so on. So definitely a good change. And as many people probably know, the game has, so to say, pay to win life skill costumes that give you some benefits and so on. But what they are going to do is they are going to add a conversion tool to the game that you can use to convert your functional costumes to crystals that I'm not yet sure how you would equip that crystal, but basically you can just wear whatever costume you want for the looks but still get those life skill benefits. There are also going to be some guild system changes. They will add guild fame, different fame benefits, bonus daily guild weights with possible extra without deducting from guild funds, and one-sided guild declarations will return. But it's going to come through that fame system, so it will not be the same as before, but for sure many people who like open world PvP and well maybe bullying, they will be happy. So good for them, I guess. And something I'm also excited about is that there is going to be graphics technology update, and you can see it on the screen what's going to come. Nothing huge, but it's definitely good. And they are completely going to revamp leveling system. So the max level is going to be 75 for each character, and they will make improvements to reach that goal sooner by adjusting experience in most places and adding experience to lots of non-combat related content also. And leveling past 62 becomes more meaningful. For example, you can get some extra stats and so on. Something huge for new players is that they are going to make it a lot easier for new players to get geared. They called it Hyper Boost. And in short, they are going to make it so that new people can get 800 gear score in a very short time, basically. And it's going to be basically in total 5 pen Black Star weapons, even faster ways to get all sovereign weapons, easy full pen Karasart accessory set, full set of Fallen God armor, by taking down some Land of the Morning Light shrine bosses, extra Garmot's heart from Olvia Academy, and guaranteed Karasart enhancement stone and exclusive hammers for Hex and Sept Karasarts, and that Karasart enhancement stone can be used up to Oct. So pretty soon people can get close to 800 gear score in basically no time. So life is going to get super easy for new players. And there are many other things that I'm mainly going to just show you on the screen because it's just too many small minor additions. So I will just let these run in the background while sharing some of my thoughts about the ball. Overall, I have mixed feelings about the ball. Some are positive, some are not that positive. So, for example, something completely neutral is that I don't care at all about the new class. I don't usually play male classes, and anyway, I'm not interested in firearms, so that's it for me. And there are some other neutral things, for example, Edania 2 region is like so-so because I don't see anything new and exciting. Of course, the region is new. I will probably like the scenery of it, but I don't think there will be any content, at least as much as we know so far, that looks like new, innovating, something interesting. So I feel like it will be just some new places to do all the things we have done before in the game. Well, the bosses seem to have some new mechanics, but anyway, first need to reach that stage. But other than that, there are, for example, some positive stuff. I do definitely like that instant character tag out. So basically, making loading screens better. I mean, almost switching to just cutscenes is definitely a great addition. I have had many issues with the loading screen because I'm playing from Japan in European server. So it's even worse for me. And I'm happy that they are going to fix this. And for sure, I'm interested in the ocean content. And someday we'll get new mounts. This is definitely a big plus. I hope they will add even more. But I know, for example, Crimson Desert has many different mounts, and I hope Black Desert Online players can also get some more mounts. And I think Unified Life Skill stuff is great, and Alchemy Stones becoming completely passive is great. And the guild system changes, guild fame, and so on. This is great. Well, I don't know what to think about that one-sided guild war declarations returning to the game because I think it benefits bullies the most, but have to see how it goes. And tiny graphics update is definitely a big win. And level system revamp. I guess I'm a bit neutral about it, but I guess it's good. But when it comes to negatives, well, for sure, one biggest negative is that they continue with the same game loop. I wish they switched something up, added more random stuff, made it more interesting because, grinding for thousands of hours, just same combos, similar type of opponents, no random stuff happening, no interesting stuff. It's not that exciting. And also, probably the biggest negative to me is that hyper boost part where they are going to basically hand out free gear for newer players. Of course, basically everyone can get it, I guess. But as someone who doesn't need any of it because I'm already past that stage, then it's completely useless to me. So I wish they gave something to veterans, upgrade materials instead or whatever, to, I guess, compensate a little bit the effort that the veterans had to go through all those stages, not just the veterans kind of empty handed while giving a huge boost to newer or meat game players. Yeah, I'm not happy with this at all. It doesn't make the game any different, you know. So people who didn't like the game before, they will not start liking it more because they have more gear now. It's still the same loop. And if they quit before, or if they even didn't become interested before, whatever, they will not be like, oh, it's now a different game, and I'm so happy, you know. It's just you have a bigger head start. But that bigger, so to say, head start actually comes with some negatives for them because they will completely miss the early game. And well, anyway, the early game is kinda dead. And because they start from mid game kinda, then their next enhancements are definitely going to require more grind, which means, you know, they also miss those early dopamine hits, I guess. At least I used to enjoy early game the most, and it's almost the same in every game. But if you almost skip it, then it's kind of questionable. It is what it is. I have to see how it turns out to be, and I guess I'm just starting to lose motivation to work for my gear in the future. I feel like it's maybe better to just wait and get the gear for free at some point, just like a year later or whatever. I have to see. Maybe this is just an initial thought or feeling. Maybe it changes a bit later. But other than that, yeah, there will be some new outfits as usual, which is also, I guess, great. Even though I wish there were some better outfits, not some modern, boring outfits. They could definitely do a bit better, make them more exciting or whatever. That's about it. So I guess as conclusion, some thoughts are positive, some are negative, some are a bit neutral. But some things I just have to experience, I guess, to know for sure if what I'm thinking is correct or if my understanding even is correct. So yeah, I have to see how it goes. But let me know your thoughts. Were you satisfied? What were you satisfied with? Maybe what were you not satisfied with? And that's it for today. See you. Take care. Bye.